Hi, this is Ron Oglesby from Login VSI, and I want to talk about my three predictions for 2024. Now, I'm not taking the tack of it's the end of VDI or the year of VDI or anything in our space. I actually looked at it from, kind of things we wouldn't expect. And the first one I was talking about was AI. Everyone's talking about how AI is going to impact their industry, their technology, their customers, things like that. And I actually see AI taking a longer time to impact our EUC technologies than I think some of the others. I think it lends itself better to some others. But one of the things I see for 2024 is that AI is good enough to start automating some of these tasks and jobs that, we know are going to be the first targets of AI. And that might be things like call centers, customer service, phone trees, right? We've all done it. Press 8 to dial a person that actually might speak to you. Um, as AI gets better and that can handle that, that's going to reduce the number and need for these kind of cookie cutter desktops for call center workers and other types of staff like that. That will impact our business, right? It's not a huge percentage globally, but it's a significant percentage in some environments. And that kind of leads me to my second thought, which was hybrid will continue. We know that after COVID, kind of post-COVID, now we're at the tail end of the post-COVID. There was some pullback as people went back to the office and as folks looked at their costs for putting desktops on the cloud and all this stuff they did in COVID just to get through it. I think it's actually did something that we knew would eventually happen, right? Cloud costs it's not exactly cheaper. It's a different platform, a different model, better benefits. But for a simple Windows desktop to host some apps, customers see hybrid, right? And it's a cost savings in a lot of cases, especially if they don't have a lot of existing infrastructure or sunk costs into an existing model. And the final thing I want to predict is what's going to happen a little bit in security here in 2024 when it comes to EUC. Now, it's funny, all three of these things, none of them are our specialty or my specialty at Login VSI. I'm just an EUC geek. But one thing I see with our security is that when we think about EUC, especially the traditional EUC, which is VDI, terminal services, multi-win, whatever you want to call it, multi-session, our security is 1985. Sorry. We're using a perimeter defense model. We build firewalls. We put in SSL gateways. We put in an authentication mechanism. You have to have a token. You've got your authenticator app, whatever. All of it is still perimeter security before the connection. Then you make the connection. I'm in a desktop. I'm in your environment. Windows apps and the Windows infrastructure doesn't lend itself to like a zero trust very well, right? How do I actually, as you instantiate a connection to data from a mobile app, I could say, hey, wait a minute, where are you coming from again? Verify the status of your actual device you're connecting to, stuff like that. But Windows apps hosted is a two-hop system, right? That Windows machine that's connecting to some piece of data on the back end, whether it's a file server, a database, whatever, it doesn't know anything about where this client's coming from. There's like this separation. I think that's what's going to happen is security companies see this. It's a known problem. They also know that these apps aren't going away. They'll start to build some tools that'll allow us to take this more kind of what we consider a legacy model, when compared to like mobile devices and all that, and start to apply some of the visibility and tools they need inside there to see what's going on. And if not get a pure zero trust model, at least give companies the ability to secure these better. Once I'm in the session, I have access to everything. I shouldn't have access to everything. And that's an old concept, right? We used to separate our PCI compliant environments from everything else. All that type of security is now wrapped up, and VDI is one of the last guys to really get into it. Those are my predictions. Have a great 2024.